Okay, there was a fascinating study out last week that compared the cost of living in 578 cities around the world. Now, it used New York City as a benchmark. It's a very expensive place to live, we know that. But then it measured two things: the day-to-day expenses of living in that city and the local purchasing power. Now, local purchasing power is the goods and services someone on an average salary can buy in that city. Well, the good news is that Australian cities are a whole lot cheaper than New York City in which to live. Sydney is around 17% less expensive, and Melbourne 23%. And when it comes to the average salary buying guide, we do all right too, actually, with most Australian capital cities providing 4 to 5% better value than the Big Apple. Now, for those of you at home, these figures may be cold comfort if you're battling rising mortgage costs and spiralling utility bills. I mean, who cares? Being better off than a New Yorker doesn't help with our own struggle to balance the budget, but it does help put some things in kind of a perspective. The cost of living crisis is actually a global phenomenon that's been caused entirely by politicians. Do not believe them when they try to sheet home the blame to Russia or China or someone else. The fools that are running this country and other Western nations have chased green dreams that have jacked up the price of power. They've printed money fueling inflation. They've campaigned against domestic manufacturing capacity, which has led to supply shortages. And we could go on and on and on. But the good news, though, is that economists are now expecting inflation to head downwards in the second half of the year. And that doesn't mean prices, of course, are going to go down. It means that inflation is only going to drag them up a little bit slower than it otherwise would. And when asked what the best thing the government can do, UBS chief economist Paul Donovan answered, nothing. Now that's an economist after my own heart. The less government does, the better off we'll all be.